Exploring our chosen genre of psychological horror, we realised our teaser had in fact evolved into a slasher horror. We stuck to the typical slasher horror conventions and have not challenged them. Our storyline is typical of many slasher horrors. A bunch of teenage girls play a silly prank at a sleepover, and it comes back to haunt them, resulting in a chain of unknown calls and a line of very bloody bodies. The location we have chosen is very barren and derelict. This gives a more scary effect to the teaser. Typical horrors such as The Shining have the killings conducted in places far from the city. Mise-en-scène is crucial for typical slashers as they show a lot of blood and gore. We looked at similar genres for ideas, for example Scream. This inspired us to adapt our makeup on our protagonist to allow audiences to relate to our genre. Typical horrors usually consist of dark and dull lighting. The lighting of our teaser was typically dull and dreary. We edited our shots with a proc amp filter to gain the cold look, which helped the blood stand out. This created a sense of suspense and followed conventions. Our cinematography was an attracting feature as it built up to a close-up of revealing our dead girl. This emphasized the mysterious cold atmosphere, and the purpose was to get our target audience on edge. These fast-ending shots were heavily influenced by the When a Stranger Calls trailer. This allowed us to create ambiguity leading up to the almost dead ending. The intense, non-diegetic sound we created allowed a build-up of tension to pull audiences in. Our edited vocals of the antagonist were highly influenced by the slasher film Scream.
Tell Sydney heads are gonna roll tonight. Tell Sydney it's all because of her.
The mysterious caller has a typical deep, enigmatic voice and harasses the protagonist.
Did you miss me? It's my turn to play a joke.
This then makes our audiences want to know who the unknown caller is.
In the combination of our main product and ancillary tasks, we realised they all had to be very effective and needed to capture the audience's attention. In our magazine, we added a picture of one of the main characters as she was the character involved within our main product. Within our poster, we added the main character, the antagonist. In the teaser trailer, we didn't include him as much as it would have given too much away. That's why we chose to give a little more away, but not too much. By doing this, we were able to involve one female character and the main character in this promotional package. By using a mid-shot silhouette in our poster, we could see more of the antagonist, and from that the audience can see the knife within his hands. This made the killer the central character. This combines with our main product, as you've heard the knife slashing through the female character and the voice of the antagonist.
Did you miss me?
This influenced us to show more of him and put him in our poster. As a promotional package, all three, the teaser trailer, poster and magazine, all link together in a number of ways. The poster and magazine are the prefix keys. Their purpose was to lead us to a bigger key sequence, which is the teaser trailer. The poster with the antagonist on it was a very good prefix key, as the audience are intrigued by what he looks like, as they've only seen the outline of his build and his body. The magazine was also a great prefix key, as the protagonist looked innocent and igneous. We done this so the audience are baffled and puzzled to why she was murdered. As his voice is intimidating,
Did you miss me?
we believed we needed to show the audience more of the antagonist. This helped capturing the target audience's attention, as both ancillary texts show different parts of our main product.
Our target audience consisted of both males and females aged 15 to 24 years plus. Our audience feedback was gained both before and after the completion of our media piece, Wrong Number. The feedback was overall very positive with a few flaws. Firstly, we posted a rough cut of our media piece on a social networking site. This was done to help generate more ideas of how our production should be captured. This is where the criticisms mainly came into play. The constant negativity was focused mainly on the voiceovers and the script. From this, we began to build on our media piece and improve on what the audience said they would like to see, and also everything else that would get us closer to perfection in the eyes of the target audience. After the final piece was produced, we then gained more from audience feedback. This consisted of 4 individuals who helped us gain on-screen audience feedback on the final version of our media piece.
camera angles. They showed it from afar and they zoomed right in. I thought that was a real nice touch, and it gave a different perspective of what's happening in it.
I really like how you guys made good use of costume and makeup. I think the blood looked really effective and made it look more realistic. Also, I think the use of the quick cuts that you used, along with the bleeping of the phone cutting in the background, it went really well and it linked with your genre.
I like the camera shots, it was quite good. The scenes where the girl's dead and the blood splattered over it looked really professional. The setting was like spot on, because it was like it's in the middle of nowhere and it's a good murder scene, yeah, to be put.
You know when they were showing the pictures, different shots of the woman, sorry, I think it could have been better if it was a bit faster, because it would be a bit more gripping, but I thought that was a really nice idea, because it was quite good, but a bit faster would be better.
Although I like the voiceovers, I think they could be improved because I don't think they're clear enough.
It was just the way of the woman voiceover when they was on the phone. I didn't think she really capitalized the whole, atmosphere of like the horror, and it was just it sounded too planned. It wasn't too like spontaneous. And you couldn't really hear her as much because of like how deep her voice was. It should have just been natural.
I liked them, but I couldn't really hear them. Like, the guy's voice, I would have felt it a bit creepy. I'm not gonna lie, creeped me out. But if it was a bit louder, then that would be perfect. But overall, I thought it was a good trailer. I think I would want to see that on Halloween. I like the way the number 3 in wrong number symbolised the date. I thought that was quite clever, and also made it look pretty good as well with the 3, so I liked it.
I think it was a really clever idea to use the number 3 in your title and then link that with the release date. I think it looked really effective.
I did. The horror films don't really scare me, but that one had me gone, man.
Overall, I really did like it. I think it was really effective. It all linked together, it made sense. I would definitely go and watch it.
During this stage of gaining the on-screen audience feedback, we went back to the social networking sites and reposted our piece as a final product this time round. This was done to help generate a larger audience. From this, we gained a mixture of both positive and negative feedback. Also, many people decided to use an icon called like. This was used by people to indicate their views. Once again, the negative feedback was due to the diegetic and non-diegetic sounds, particularly the dialogue. From our audience feedback, it is clear people enjoyed the fast-paced shots and the effect of the blood. This gave an insight to how important costume and makeup is within a teaser trailer. This also tells us how the use of camera angles and editing skills can help to gain positive views from people. There was one main overall criticism that was constantly repeated. This was to do with the voices of the male and the female character voiceovers. It was said to be that they were both unclear and underdeveloped, although some people found the male voice intimidating and fearful. We took on board this criticism when it first arose during the rough cut. We began to build on it and at the same time capture the overall feel that we wanted, which was a deep, intimidating male vocal. This turned out to be unsuccessful, as the audience feedback shows that even at the end of our final piece, the voices were still unsatisfying. Although this was ineffective, we managed to get an excellent response, which shows this was an overall successful product.
We used a range of different media technologies whilst constructing our final piece. Final Cut Pro was the main influential technological software that we used. Final Cut Pro was used to edit and construct our media piece. We used a majority of different tools within the software to enhance the creation. One of the main tools that had an impact on our media piece was a tool called Proc Amp. This is a filter tool that we use throughout the media piece to create a dark and eerie feel. We wanted this effect as it allowed us to stick to the typical conventions of a horror.
Final Cut Pro allowed the opportunity to use video transitions. Within this was a dissolve option which was available. This contained fades in or out. Using this tool allowed the scenes to flow increasingly better and at a professional pace. Final Cut Pro also enabled us to drag and cut items. This helped with the construction of our media piece. For the task creating the voiceover, which was added to our media piece, 2 different types of audio-related software was used for this. The first type of software which was used to experiment with our voiceovers was GarageBand. This was used for both male and female voices. With GarageBand, we aimed to achieve a deep feel to the male voice. Unfortunately, this was unsuccessful as GarageBand didn't contain the correct tools and the effects needed for this non-diegetic dialogue. This led us to the second software called Soundtrack Pro. With Soundtrack Pro, it provided the right options to get creative with the male voice. The main aim to be achieved at the end of this was to have a male voice which was intimidating and deep.
Did you miss me? It's my turn to play a joke.
This influence came from the movie trilogy of Scream. And this was a huge influence on our overall idea for our media piece.
Tell Sydney heads are gonna roll tonight. Tell Sydney it's all because of her.
To help with the adjustment of the male voice, Soundtrack Pro provided an option where the pitch levels could be adjusted to help achieve the overall aim. Nightmare on Elm Street also had huge impact on our male vocals, as the voiceover in the movie was husky and threatening.
You have nothing to worry about. This won't hurt one little bit.
Photoshop was an essential software that we used and found itself playing a big part in our creation of both our ancillary texts, which consists of magazine and poster. For the poster, we went for a simplistic feel as we wanted the silhouetted image to stand out. So Photoshop allowed the silhouetted effect to be portrayed along with the black and red background. The layer option in Photoshop contributed to the creation of the title within our poster, as 2 versions of the title was duplicated and then layered on top of each other. To gain the effect of 2 different colours using the colour overlay tool, this was done to create an effect of blending. The magazine was constructed using Photoshop. We used a range of different tools to construct our magazine. We used a specialist online step-by-step tool to get the font for our magazine. The main tool that we used was the blending tool. Within the blending tool, we used the bevel and emboss, which helped the title to become thicker and smoother. We used both drop-down shadow and inner shadow to make the title stand out more.